Hi, what's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Sloan. It's titled Billie Eilish's Creepy and Sketchy Relationship, Alleged Grooming. I had to look up who this dude is, Jesse Rutherford. I've never heard of him a day in my life, but he's apparently in some band called The Neighborhood that I ain't never heard of a day in my life. But yeah, I want to see what's so sketchy about their relationship and how he supposedly groomed her. How old is Billie? The last time I recall, she was like 16 when I was reacting to her annual interviews she was doing with Vogue, somebody, I don't know, child. But that was a few years ago, so I would assume she like 19, 20, 21. And I just googled him and he's like 31. So there's that. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Let's watch.
I not only was known by a person that I thought was the hottest alive, but pulled his ass.
Him?
Jesse Rutherford, everyone.
The hottest?
Dating a 30-year-old, that is an 11 years difference. And didn't you meet him when you were 15?
I pulled his ass. All me.
Oh yeah, she's 21.
I did that.
Let's talk about the song Your Power.
It is mainly about statutory. Got a lot of stories I won't tell, and a lot of people's lives I could ruin.
Billie Eilish has been dating a man who her fans don't approve of. Jesse Rutherford is 11 years older than Billie and allegedly has been in her life since she was 15.
Yeah,
some people are calling this a grooming situation, so let's get into it.
I do think that's creepy. If you've been knowing a minor,
I've gotten so many requests to
and then for years, and then you end up dating them like years later, it's like, was you always looking at them like that? Like, I don't trust it.
Talk about Billie Eilish's relationship and how problematic it is. And I have to admit, I'm a huge fan of Billie, so I'm not trying to be hateful with this video, but after doing my research, I found a few red flags. So Billie's been dating this guy named Jesse Rutherford, and he's actually the lead singer in a band called The Neighborhood, which I'm a huge fan of as well. But fans are calling their relationship icky and problematic. One of the main reasons why people aren't supportive of this relationship is because Billie's 20 years old when they started dating, and Jesse is 11 years older than she is. And while that relationship isn't legal, it's a little bit creepy, but what's even creepier is that people found that these two have known each other for a very long time, since Billie was a minor. A lot of people online are using this word grooming, so I just want to remind you guys that grooming occurs when someone builds a relationship, trust, and emotional connection with a child or young person so they could manipulate, exploit, or abuse them. So it's a very, intense definition, but a lot of people have even, not even in Hollywood, but in the real world, people go through grooming. Online investigators found a picture from 2017 where Billie Eilish was 15 years old hanging out with this man, Jesse. A lot of people are cringing at the fact that Jesse knew Billie when she was underage, only to seemingly hook up with her in adulthood. And maybe people think it's gross and creepy, but it's technically legal.
Why is Billie Eilish bragging about pulling her 31-year-old boyfriend when she's 20? Let's talk about it. Girl, you're literally a year older than me, and I could not dare imagine dating a 30-year-old. That is an 11 years difference. And didn't you meet him when you were 15? So 5 years grooming? I don't know, I'm just speculating. This is some weird stuff. I don't know.
I'm a little weirded out too, and it only gets weirder. But this person wrote that about 4 or 5 years ago, she was 16 and he was 27. So calling them friends at the time is odd, because what grown man is friends with a child? Also, I couldn't date someone who was a child when I was pushing 30, not until they were at least 25 years old, but to each their own. Now, when I started looking into this video, I didn't want to make it, but there were so many things that we're going to talk about that you guys need to know. And one clip I found in particular, I feel like you can almost see that Billie was allegedly groomed, because she's talking about this relationship and I guess how she was younger and kind of idolized this man, and how now she's won him over and now she's got him. So it's that would kind of signify, and tell me if I'm overdoing it, but I guess would show that she was interested in him as a minor. I don't know what could have happened there, but this clip has gone viral and people explain that it seems like it's proof that she was groomed.
my life, to a point where I not only was known by a person that I thought was the hottest alive, but pulled his. Are we kidding me? Can we just round of applause for me? Thank you. Jesse Rutherford, everyone. I pulled his all me. I did that.
So take what you want from that clip, comment below your thoughts, and let's go ahead and talk about the beginning of their public relationship. So we really started to see them together back in October of last year. It was Halloween time, and these two were actually hanging out at like a haunted house, I guess, probably in like LA area or something. I don't know where it was, but some haunted house that they were, on a date with everyone else. And we really didn't know for sure that they were together, but someone snapped a video clip of them like on this date, cozying up together. And that's where the public, started to learn about their relationship.
OMG, I just saw Billie Eilish at Fortnite.
Someone commented on this YouTube video, their father-daughter interaction is so sweet. I know he's so proud of having a daughter like Billie, which is a really gross comment. I was like, ew, this is so nasty. Like, what do you mean? He's like 11 years older than her. It's not like he's not over here like, father age. It's not that type of age gap. But it shows how people feel about this relationship. And they started hanging out in August. So
he looked way older than 31.
In October, but they really had been hanging out since the summertime. And when when they confirmed their relationship, we actually learned that they did start dating in the summer of that year. They've been pretty good at keeping their relationship hush-hush. They haven't been out and about hanging out. So now they're comfortable being seen in public. And, Billie hasn't really had a public relationship like this. So this was one of her first major relationships. Following their Halloween date, they were seen at a restaurant in LA called Crossroads Kitchen. Looks like they were having a vegan meal together. And then 2 days after that, they were seen out about kissing in public. They were like, screw it. They're already taking a bunch of pictures of us and following us. We might as well show them that we are dating. Now, right when this relationship went public, the concern kicked in. Fans started to dig up those photos. They saw that, they were hanging out when she was 15 and now they're dating, and they criticized it all. One person wrote, people are understanding this. It doesn't matter if Jessie met Billie only once when she was 15. She got famous a few years later and her age became fully public. He knows when she was 15 when he met her. Rumor, period.
Billie is 20 years old and Jessie is 31, and people think that this 11-year age gap is way too much. For me personally, I think it's nothing, but I know a lot of moms follow me and young women, so y'all drop some comments and tell me what you would think.
Another person writes, not cool that Jessie is willing to date Billie.
It's not the current age that they're talking about, sir. They're talking about him knowing her for many years. So was he looking at her when she was 15? That's the point.
With that age difference, like an effing predator.
But I don't know.
Very, very
Who
gross
knows?
and upsetting. Another person writes, girl, you have songs about this exact situation. Stop falling for it. Which that actually kind of rubs you the wrong way. Because you could be fully aware of these toxic situations. I was in a really toxic relationship, even though I talk about toxic relationships all the time, and it doesn't change that. So this is kind of rubs me the wrong way. But they are right. Billie has shared before, very briefly, that she's been, and groomed and all of that. She actually opened up in British Vogue about being harmed as a kid. She actually wrote her song You Power about mainly men who take advantage of individuals who are younger. She explains how when she was younger, she never thought age mattered in a relationship. Even though she explains now she understands why age matters, it does seem like I understand why people are a little frustrated, because they're like, okay, you're here talking about how this song is written about a man who's older than you taking advantage of you, and how you didn't really pay attention to age, and now you do understand how age matters, but then now you're in a relationship with a large age gap, but maybe she's fully aware, so she's confident going into it. She also explains that the more she thought about the experience, the more she realized how wrong it was. While Billie may have technically consented, which you can't really consent when you're a minor, to a relationship at the time, the fact of the matter is that she was underage and wasn't really in the position to be making those kind of decisions. Billie has declined to reveal details about who her abuser was, except that it wasn't anyone in the music industry. She's also begged fans not to ask her who this person was. She doesn't want to reveal it, she doesn't want to acknowledge it, and she wants to keep that to herself.
Let's talk about the song Your Power.
It is mainly about statutory. I have wanted to write about it for a long time, I think, without even really realizing. Got a lot of stories I won't tell, and a lot of people's lives I could ruin. Nothing crazy happened. It was just a lot of inappropriate behavior.
But back to Jessie and Billie, because he was in a relationship with his high school sweetheart, Devin, before he was in a relationship with Billie. Actually, they broke up shortly before he started hanging out with Billie Eilish. And since then, Billie and Jessie haven't really said much about their relationship and their controversy, but they did do one thing which really bad taste in my mouth because they dressed up for Halloween. And they both wore a baby and old man costume. So Billie wore a baby costume, which we don't have great photos of. And then he wore an old man costume. So it looks like they were trying to poke fun at their age difference and how people are criticizing it. And she is acting like the baby, and he's the old man. And, you know, he's the old man with the baby, and they have a creepy relationship. I don't exactly know, like, who even allow them to do that, because it just seems like really distasteful with the criticism. It's kind of like they're egging it on. This person wrote, even if Billie and Jesse were a normal couple without that concerning age gap, a couple's costume where one is dressing as a baby and the other is dressing as an old person is so distasteful. Another person wrote, something doesn't sit right with me knowing that Billie Eilish dressed up as a baby and Jesse dressed up as an old man. And I agree, I think it's like cringe and not funny, and maybe they're trying to like poke fun at the criticism, but like, whose idea was that? Billie Eilish's brother, Phineas, is a very public figure, and he has said that he just wants his sister to be happy and safe. So I guess he approves of this relationship. I don't know if he's done his own research, but maybe, you know, he can't really do anything anyways. Although there have been plenty of red flags, and I want to hear what you guys think of this, you know, relationship, the situation, the age gap. I mean, it's not illegal, but like there are some weird things with the picture when, you know, she was younger, and then the costumes are just like next level.
I mean, technically, they're both grown. You know, they can do what they want. They're not doing anything illegal. They both are of age at the moment. But like I said, it's just suspicious because you've been knowing her since she was 15. You're seen photoed with her. Y'all hanging out, smiling, all cuddled up. You had your arm all around her. And now y'all dating years later. It's just like, I mean, maybe he just saw her at parties randomly and just posed and kept it pushing and didn't look at her like that until years passed and he got to know her. That is also very possible. So we don't know for sure that he has groomed her. Maybe he didn't at all. But like I said, it just looks a little suspicious, especially because, you know, the industry is very well known for engaging in very weird things where, you know, adults mess with children and shit like that. It's a very sick environment. So it's like, it wouldn't be too far-fetched if that is what occurred, that he was grooming her, or even worse than that, that he had an actual relationship with her back then, but they kept it real hush until she, you know, got old enough. So I don't know. And as far as people like, oh, well, Billie, how you talk about this in your music, but then look at how you live in your life. Look, niggas is hypocrites. All right, we all are hypocrites. You can be very fully aware of what the right thing to do is, but then, you know, you end up doing something completely opposite. People do it all the time, every day. Okay, I've done it for sure. I've talked about toxic relationships. I've been in a couple. All right. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, hopefully she makes good decisions moving forward. I don't fucking know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye!